I'm Dre, bro. Tell me I did another giveaway with Ruby, and I did not win it. Let's talk down and now listen.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another video, and if you're new, hi, I'm Nandria. Welcome to my channel. So today in this video, I'll be giving you guys movies, TV shows, and documentaries slash docuseries that are basically black starred or black produced that you can find on Netflix. A lot of these I have watched myself, so I might give a little review, but I'm well aware that everyone has different tastes, so you can just pick whatever you want to watch out of your own discretion. And I'm sorry that I don't have any Hulu suggestions. I had Hulu, but I didn't really have Hulu, and the person changed their password, so I can really only give you Netflix right now. But I think with everything going on right now, I think it should be very easy to find black movies or TV shows or whatever. You just have to like search up certain words. So let's get into the video. So the first TV show I have is All American. It's about, and when I tell you these synopses or summaries, don't come for me, because I'm not the best explainer at certain things, so I'm just gonna tell you like what I got from it, if that makes sense. So All American is about this high school football player, and he basically wants to go to the NFL. He lives in Compton, and from what I know, Compton is a very bad neighborhood in Los Angeles. So the show is basically about him maneuvering through everything, trying to stay focused on football in school while like his friends are in gangs and like family problems and all of that stuff. So the show has like its dramatic side, and then it has its touching side. I think it would be a good show to watch for like those who kind of like the variation in the TV shows that they watch. The next show I have is She's Gotta Have It. This one is produced and directed by Spike Lee, I believe. It's kind of complicated to describe She's Gotta Have It. Like season 1 and season 2 are very different in my opinion. So the summary on Google says, Brooklyn-based artist Nola Darling struggles to stay true to herself and her dreams while dividing her time between her friends, her job, and her lovers, all three of them. That trio includes married businessman and father Jamie Overstreet, photographer and self-described biracial Adonis, Greer Charles, and chatty Michael Jordan fan Mars Blackman. In addition to creating the series, Spike Lee directs all the episodes and serves as an executive producer alongside wife Tanya Lewis Lee. I would recommend this for people who like drama mixed with kind of like reality. It gives me reality vibes, but it also just touches on a lot of like topics that people don't normally talk about in TV shows, like women's sexuality, black people in art, stuff like that. Okay, the next show is Raising Dion. I'm not gonna lie, I was skeptical. I thought it was just gonna be another fantasy superhero kind of show, but it actually has like depth to it. It's about a young boy who has these powers, and his mom is a single mom because his dad died. I don't want to give away too much. Maybe I should not be doing the synopsis. Oh well, too late. But yeah, his dad died, so his mom, there goes the fireworks. His dad died, so his mom is a single mom, and she's trying to like help him stay a kid while balancing these supernatural powers that he seems to have while also protecting him. And I feel like it's so cute because a lot of times you don't see the family side of these superhero shows. You just see them like battling evil and whatever. But like because he's a kid, you get to see him trying to like grow up, learn his powers, all that stuff, and he has his mom who doesn't have any powers, who's also trying to learn it with him. So it's a very cute, and it does get emotional if you're like me. At least it gets very emotional at times, so I would definitely recommend it. This was a 10 out of 10 for me. The next show is Black Lightning. This is also a superhero kind of show, but this time it's based in a full black city. I don't know if that's the perfect way to describe it, but the superhero is black, his family is black, the city is black, the villains are black. Like, this show is black. You have white people here and there, but like this show is like 99% black people, which is something that I love, like, because you really don't see it that often. Like, you hear of black superheroes, but they're mostly like features on like different shows where the main character is a white superhero. So this show was definitely 100% black. The storyline is okay to me. The storyline follows the main character who has been a superhero, but then also his two daughters develop superpowers. They all become the superhero family and just battle everything for their city. So I really like it. It's a very good show, and I definitely do recommend it. The next one is Pose. You guys, I just finished Pose a couple days ago and I absolutely loved it. I binged watched it in 2 days max, I believe, maybe even less, because the show was beautiful. It's about, I'm going to read the synopsis because I definitely don't want to mess this one up. So it says, Pose is an American drama television series about New York City's African American and Latino LGBTQ and gender non-conforming ballroom culture scene in the 1980s and in the second season early 1990s. Featured characters are dancers and models. Wow, I can't read today. Who compete for trophies and recognition in this underground culture and who support one another in a network of chosen families known as houses. You guys, I learned so much about the LGBTQ community while watching this show, things that I never even like knew existed, and like terms I learned as well. So this show is not only like entertaining, but it's also very informative, and it kind of shows you where a lot of like things like voguing that we see like people like Tiana Taylor do, where they originated from. So I definitely would recommend it. It's very raw at points as well, but I feel like that's definitely needed at times like this. Like I just love this show. It's a 10 out of 10, maybe a like 20 out of 10. Like I love this show so much. I'm ready for season 3. Like they need to hurry up. Do you hear me? We need season 3. Okay, the next show is Blood and Water. It's based in South Africa and it's about a teenage girl who her sister went missing when she was younger, and then she finds, like she went to this party or something like that, and she finds this girl and she thinks it's her long lost sister. So she basically tries to figure out if that's really her sister. There's a good amount of plot twists that you can go in the show. It's very good. I would give it maybe like an 8 out of 10. I wouldn't say 10 out of 10 because I just needed a little bit more oomph. The last episode though was definitely a cliffhanger, and that's why I'm waiting on season 2. But other than that, it is a pretty good show and I definitely do recommend it. Okay, so now I'm gonna go on to movies because I don't want this video to be too long. So the first movie I have is She's Gotta Have It. So Spike Lee made She's Gotta Have It, the show, based off of his movie. His movie was made in the 1980s, so he did basically a modern version of She's Gotta Have It. I would definitely recommend this if you're okay with black and white movies, because it is in black and white like 99.9% of the movie. But it kind of goes more in depth on season 1 of She's Gotta Have It, the show. In my opinion, the movie isn't as raw as the show, but it does have like its good features, so I would recommend that. The next movie I have is an oldie but a goodie. It came out in 2010 and it's a Tyler Perry movie called For Colored Girls. It follows the storyline of 7 to 9 maybe black women in New York, and it basically just, it's like different glimpses into their life at certain instances. But what I really love about this movie is that even though the women don't know each other originally, all their storylines connect. It kind of made me feel like that applies to real life, because black women themselves can be individuals, but on a deeper level, like we're all connected by similar experiences that we have as black women. So the movie is very deep and very like raw as well, but it's raw in a way that it's like, dang, like this is really what black women go through. And even though it was made in 2010, it still applies to like black women today. So I definitely would recommend this. It's kind of gut-wrenching and heart-wrenching as well, so like just a warning if you do watch it, because I myself was like, I had to pause it a couple times to like take a breather because it was that heavy, but it was needed. The next movie, it's kind of like a series. It's not really a movie, but I wouldn't really call it a TV show either, but maybe it is a TV show. It's Self-Made, the Madam C.J. Walker story. I would recommend this movie for the simple fact that I didn't know much about Madam C.J. Walker beyond the fact that she was the first female self-made millionaire. But this movie, document series, TV show, whatever you want to call it, it goes deeper into her story from like before she started her business to like the very end, like when she died. It goes into her family dynamic and stuff like that, so you get to see a little bit more about it. It's, I wouldn't say entertaining, but it holds your attention enough so you don't see that it's like a documentary kind of. So if you want to know more about Madam C.J. Walker, I would definitely suggest this. The next movie I have is Moonlight. It came out in 2016, and this movie, the first thing I thought in my head when I was watching it was like, dang, this movie is 2 hours long, because they don't really have movies. They have movies like hour and 30, hour 45, but like it's like 2 hours long. But it's broken down into 3 parts, and it's about this. I'm gonna read the synopsis because I don't want to mess it up again. It says, a look at 3 defining chapters in the life of Chiron, a young black man growing up in Miami. His epic journey to manhood is guided by the kindness, support, and love of the community that helps raise him. So this synopsis was a bit vague, but it basically talks about a young black man in Miami, like it said, but he's growing up not just as a black man but as a black gay man, and he's like learning about his sexuality, learning about like what it means to be a man. And then also his mother, I think she did, I can't remember what drugs she did, but she did drugs, so he didn't really have a real family support, so he has to find his own community and stuff like that. So it's a very beautiful storyline. The use of the 3 parts was a very unique way to tell the story, and that's kind of what grasped my attention as well, because you see his development throughout the movie instead of just like random instances, I guess. Now this movie I haven't watched yet, but it was recommended because I told them I watched Moonlight and they said you might like this as well. But it's called All Day and a Night. And it says a young man embarks on a journey of self-discovery after landing in the same prison as his father. So this movie came out May. I didn't know that. I thought it came out early in the year, but it came out May, so it's fairly new. But I'm pretty sure like once you type these movies into Netflix will start suggesting more movies like this. So that's why I'm kind of starting you off on these, and also because these are good stories. Okay, so now I'm gonna go on to documentary slash docu-series. So the first one came out last year. It's called When They See Us. I'm pretty sure you've heard of it or watched it. It's basically a docu-series. This is about the story of the Exonerated Five. Well, in the show they're known as the Central Park Five, but now that they're free, they're known as the Exonerated Five. So it basically goes back to before they were arrested for the crime that they did not commit, and it shows like basically everything they went through, like when they were in jail, what their family went through, when they were trying to like fight the courts, everything. And this, I would definitely put a trigger warning to this. This is very out there, like it's very in your face. I cried watching the series almost every episode, so definitely prepare yourself for that because it definitely is a moving piece. Also, after you watch this, you'll probably get to see the Oprah special that was done as well, and it's with the 5 men and the people who played them in the show, and they talk about the experiences some more, and you can actually see them. It's really beautiful that they get to share their story, but it's also, when you think about the things that they had to go through and they didn't even deserve it, it's kind of heartbreaking. But yeah, that's the first documentary I would recommend. The next documentary I have is filmed by the same person that created When They See Us, and the documentary is called 13th. So it says filmmaker Ava DuVernay, I believe I said that right, explores the history of racial inequality in the United States, focusing on the fact that the nation's prisons are disproportionately filled with African Americans. So this also is about incarceration of black men in America. Also very touching. I guess you could just focus on the more you know with documentaries. Documentaries are insightful and informative, but they do always come with a little heartbreaking asterisk to it. The next documentary is What Happened, Miss Simone, and this is a biographical documentary about Nina Simone. Nina Simone was a singer-songwriter, and then later on in her career, I guess you can say, she became a civil rights activist. And the documentary basically shows unreleased footages of like interviews and stuff with her family and other people that knew her as well. So next on the list, I haven't watched the documentary yet, but it is on my list to watch because it seems very interesting. It's called The Black Godfather, and it's about Clarence Avant. I'm so sorry if I'm messing these names up. It says, Clarence Avant, known as the godfather of black music, is perhaps not well known by the general public, but very famous in the music industry. Starting as a manager to pianist-composer Lalo Schifrin. He later founded record labels, served as concert organizer, a special events producer, a fundraiser for Democratic politicians, and a mentor to several African American execs. So this was on my list because I don't know a lot of black people behind the scenes in the music industry from like back then. If they weren't very, very famous, you really didn't know who they were. I feel like documentaries like this help bring to light all African Americans and people of color that were behind the scenes in the music industry, in the art industry, in the film industry, that their work just goes unrecognized because they were black or people of color. So I feel like documentaries like this helps us stay on top of all that information so that those people aren't forgotten. So that's why this is on my list. I have not watched it yet, but I'm very excited to watch it because I'm definitely ready to learn more about people like, I'm gonna say Mr. Clarence because I don't want to mess up his last name. Okay, and last but certainly not least, the last documentary I have on this list is The Death and Life of Marsha P. Johnson. So I'm gonna read a little bit about Marsha before I get into the documentary. So Marsha P. Johnson, born Malcolm Michaels Jr., was an American gay liberation activist and self-identified drag queen. Known as an outspoken advocate for gay rights, Johnson was one of the prominent figures in the Stonewall Uprising of 1969. A founding member of the Gay Liberation Front, Johnson co-founded the radical activist group Street Transvestite Action Revolutionaries, alongside close friend Sylvia Rivera. A popular figure in New York City's gay and art scene, Johnson modeled for Andy Warhol and performed on stage with the drag performance troupe Hot Peaches. Known for decades as a welcoming presence in the streets of Greenwich Village, Johnson was known as the mayor of Christopher Street. From 1987 through 1992, Johnson was an AIDS activist with ACT UP. So the documentary basically goes in depth kind of about the death of Marsha. I'm gonna use they pronouns because I don't believe they identified as transgender or a specific gender. So I'm just gonna use they pronouns. Marsha was found floating in the Hudson River and they deemed their death as suicide. With the way people of the LGBTQ community were treated at that time, people obviously thought that it was a murder. So this documentary went into detail about whether or not Marsha's death was really a suicide or if they were murdered. But yeah guys, those are my suggestions of movies, TV shows, and documentaries that are centered about, produced, starred by Black people and people of color. I hope you guys enjoyed and I hope you guys watched. If you have watched these shows or these movies or these documentaries, please let me know down below. And if you have any suggestions, I'm very much willing to watch. So drop those in the comment section down below. And thanks for watching guys. See you in the next video.